Hey, what's up? We're going to do a quick video on the skull, and we happen to have a nice skull right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to rock through the bones and the joints. So let's start out down here where we've got the mandible, right here, jawbone. Right above the mandible, we've got the maxillary bone. So your two bones with teeth are your mandible and your maxillary bone. If we keep going up, we get up here to the cheekbone, to the eye socket, and we've got the zygomatic bone. If we go a little bit more medial, right at the top of the bridge of the nose, we've got the nasal bones, and tucked in back here, you can't really distinguish it on this model, is a lacrimal bone. Other bones that we can see. Can we get inside the nasal cavity there a little bit? We've got a bulging bone right there. That is the inferior nasal concha. I'm breaking the rule by pointing with a pen right here. I'm supposed to turn it around. There's an inferior nasal concha right there. Other bones that we can see. Let's kind of rotate up a little bit, get into the top of the skull here. Here is our frontal bone right there. We rotate to the side a little bit. We've got another big skull bone here, the parietal bone. And just beneath it, we see a temporal bone. If we look right in front of the temporal bone, we get a little piece of a bone that we'll come back to in a second called the sphenoid bone. You can see that right there. If we keep going around to the back and the back of the skull, where the sticker is, we've got the occipital bone right back here. What other bones do we have? Let's take this guy off and look inside the brain case here. When we're inside here, we see sort of a flat ledge here. Right here we see a bunch of foramina, a bunch of holes, and we've got our sphenoid bone right here. We can also, if we look right here, this little ridge right here is part of another bone called the ethmoid bone. What else do we have? Let's flip it around here. We've got a bone right back here that is our vomer. That's our vomer right there. And if we look right here, we can see two pieces of the Palatine Bones. So there's obviously a lot of bones in the skull. In some later videos, we're going to go through them individually and do their individual parts. One set of bones that we are not going to look at in this skull are the middle ear bones, the ossicles. So we're not going to see them here, but we're going to know they're associated with the skull. And I think that's just about it. Oh yeah, we're going to do the sutures. Thank you for the reminder. We're going to do some of the joints. Now, most of the joints in your skull, this totally does not go on like this. There we go. Most of the joints in your skull are immovable joints. And of course, when you have immovable joints, you don't have movement, but you have great strength. And so we're going to look at a couple of these named joints. And we're going to look at some of them. They are called sutures. Right here, we have a suture between the frontal bone and the two parietal bones, and this is called the coronal suture. Remember, a coronal cut slices something into front and back portions, so this is the coronal suture. Right behind it, between the two parietal bones, we have the sagittal suture. So two parietal bones, sagittal suture, and you can really see how the bones interdigitate to make a really strong connection. If we flip around to the back, here is our occipital bone right there. And the joint between the occipital bone and our two parietal bones, which we see right here, kind of like an upside down V. It's called the Lambdoid Suture. It kind of looks like the Greek letter lambda, which is basically an upside down V, hence the name. One more suture. If we go back to this side here we have our temporal bone. And we've got our parietal bone right here, and we have another suture between them. This is called the squamous suture. And that's pretty much it for the sutures. There are other sutures in the skull, but none other that we're going to name. So, see you next time.